Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys who do not know me, my name is Marcella and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my budgeting video. This is how I budget and how I've managed to pay off quite a bit of debt. I actually added up numbers and going back real quick, I started budgeting in March of last year, so March 2019, and it was mid-March. And I had quite a bit of credit card debt. I didn't realize how much it was actually until I added things up before I started filming this video. I actually had $10,242 with 81 cents exactly of credit card debt. And I have managed to pay that all off. I paid all of that off towards the end of last year. And I also did start paying back, let me look at my sheet, my student loans. As you guys know, I recently graduated. Well, not recently, but I recently started having to pay back my student loans. So I started paying those in April, and I have two different student loans. I have my Nelnet loan, and then I have a Parent Plus loan. It's a federal loan. And that one my mom took out for me under my name to help me get a lower interest rate rather than me having to take out a private loan. So I do appreciate that for her, and it was always under the condition that I would be paying that off. So I just wanted to clarify on that. So yeah, I started paying off my student loans in April, and I'm on a 10-year repayment plan. So a lot of it unfortunately does go towards interest in the beginning. But I also added up numbers, and till this date, I've paid off $7,723.10 towards my student loans, and that's towards the both of them together. And I also went ahead and opened up my account on each one of those loans. I still owe a whopping $60,422.18 on student loans. So the goal right now is to start paying that student loan debt off a little faster than the 10 years. That's what I would like to do. So last year my main focus was just paying the bare minimum on student loans, and this year and moving forward, I'm really trying to just make as much of a dent as I can on these student loans, because I just like to get them paid off faster and pay less interest, you know. So anyways, I'm sorry for just rambling. I felt I just needed to kind of make a little bit of introduction, kind of tell you guys why I started budgeting. And I also just want to say that at first I used to think budgeting was something, and please don't come at me, that poor people did, or those who couldn't make ends meet did. And that sounds really terrible, so I do want to just say, like, don't come at me. I feel like there's a huge misconception with budgeting and those who do it, and maybe other people like frown upon them. But I actually think budgeting is really smart. It's a financial plan, and it's a smart way to go about your finances. So for me, like I said, it's allowed me to pay off so much debt, and I know if I did not budget, that credit card debt wouldn't have gotten paid off in the short amount of time that it did. So yeah, budgeting is a smart way to not administer your money, but you know, manage your money and your income, and it allows you to kind of prioritize with what's important. But let me just go ahead and say that I do not want to take credit for this budgeting method. I actually, when I started to want to pay off debt, I looked, of course, here on YouTube for videos and some guidance on how to go about it. And I came across one video by the Budget Mom, I believe that's her name. I'm going to link down her video below, as well as her channel. She honestly had the best method for me, and it made the most sense to me, and I highly recommend checking out her channel. She's also got a blog, and if you sign up for like monthly emails or whatever on her blog, you will get a lot of freebies, like printables, free like envelope designs. Like I showed envelopes like this in a vlog earlier in the year, and I got these printable envelopes from being subscribed to her blog. And she always has a lot of good stuff that she'll come out with, as well as like a monthly newsletter. It might be more often, but anyways, so here is my binder, and honestly I just got it from the dollar store. It's nothing special. And so the Budget Mom, she has these sheets. I believe they're still available on her blog because she has a shop, and she also created a budgeting workbook as well as like a digital one where you can print it out and keep on reusing it. Anyways, because I was budgeting and I wanted to make the most of my money, I decided to kind of make my own sheets based on what hers looked like. So I'm just gonna kind of turn to a random page. I went ahead and created a like blank calendar where I could fill in the month and what the goal was for that month. So let me flip back to my February one. And so this is kind of what it looks like. But basically, it has the dates I'm paid. I write those in. I have when bills are due. So I've got my mortgage due and my HOA fees due on the 1st. One of my loans, car note, Netflix gym, bill, State Farm, yada yada yada. All that's on my overview for the month. And what I usually do, by the way, I do have every month divided. I usually, like for the 13th, when I got paid, I will highlight, so I highlighted in yellow that payday, whatever expense is coming out from that check for that pay period is highlighted in yellow. So my Niagara gas, my Nelnet, my State Farm, and because I paid off my credit card debt, I still do use my credit cards here and there, but it is when I know that I will be able to pay it off when that bill comes, and pay it off completely, because you don't want interest, because that's how everything starts to accumulate and you just get back into debt. So in my Capital One payment. Then I'm getting paid on the 27th. So those were the only bills that were coming out from that pay period. I hope that makes sense. So since I got paid the 13th, what I went ahead and did, and I'm going to actually take a new sheet because I don't want to share my actual income. I feel like that's personal. Okay, so then this is what the sheet looks like. And this one here, I'm going to fill in the month. So we've got February. And I was paid, like I said, the 13th. All right, let's see if it focuses. So I was paid on the 13th, and we're just gonna go with $2,000 for my income. So referring back to my calendar and what was due that was highlighted in yellow is my NICOR gas bill, and then I have my Nelnet loan. I've got my State Farm, and I've got the Capital One card. So for my NICOR gas, I went ahead and budgeted $52. I always budget to the nearest whole dollar, so I do round up. But it was actually $51.24. And for my Nelnet loan, it was $341, and the actual amount was $340.56. For State Farm, I budgeted $120. I'm not sure. I think it's like $115, but I just rounded up just a bit. And then for the Capital One, it was $200 even. And I actually went ahead and had purchased something on Amazon. So I had made a partial payment of $50. Now, this Amazon payment is actually not due until a little later in the month. So I just want to make part of my payment. However, when that payment comes due at the end of the month, it would be paid off in full, and I'm not going to be paying interest. And then I've got my association fees, and that is $180. So that's 180, 50, 200. I don't remember what that is, so whatever. But so yeah, here's my monthly bills. That's budget. So if you're not sure what that bill's gonna cost, you can guesstimate and then put the actual number. So then I'm gonna move this just a little bit. If you've got a lot of bills, obviously, when I made this worksheet, I left a lot of room for bills. So you're gonna add all that up together, and it came out to $943. So now what I will do is pull out my calculator, and yes, it's almost 2 in the morning, but I'm going to go ahead and do $2,000 minus the 943, and so then your leftover, as you can see, is 1,057. So now I'm taking this number, which is leftover A, and it's going to go right in this box here. So 1,057. So then I have here my envelopes, and let me backtrack real quick. These expenses, like my Nelnet loan is automatic, and my State Farm is automatic. So the rest of them, like Nicor Gas, Capital One, Amazon, and the HOA, I do through my online banking account. So like I said, moving forward, we've got $1,057 left over after these bills are paid. And for the rest of my expenses, so like groceries, for gas, for household, ooh, that looks a little ugly, and for fun, I do cash spending only. And the whole point behind that is that there is more of an attachment to handing over money versus just swiping your card. And this is like basically Dave Ramsey's cash envelope system. So yes, I have groceries, and there's a lot of different envelopes you can have. Like if you have a pet, you can do pet. If you want to do one for clothes or personal spending for yourself, you can do that. I used to have a beauty envelope where I would put aside a certain amount of money to get like my nails done or a pedicure or a haircut, stuff like that. But right now I'm not doing that. So for me, groceries, I do $50 a week. So I get paid every 2 weeks, so that would be $100 that I'm budgeting for groceries. My gas is $50, $25 a week. And for household, so for me, this category is like if I need to buy toilet paper, if I need to buy cleaning supplies, if I need to buy tissue, paper towels, anything, basically household detergent. So $20, because I mean, I'm not buying everything at once. And then for fun, so if I decide to go to the movies, if I decide to go grab lunch with a friend, if I decide I want to go out for drinks, This is my fun category, and a lot of people also call this their entertainment category. Right now I'm just doing 60. So now what you're going to do is add these up. So we've got 100 plus 50 plus 20 plus 60, and that is 230. So now, of course, 1057 minus 230. So let me see if I can show you guys. This is like a weird angle. Minus 230. All right, so now we've got $827 of income left. Sorry, y'all. So now what I like to work on is my savings plan. This is money. For me, I put like things I'm saving for in here. So if I've got an envelope for Christmas, and the plan for me, every time I get paid, I'm putting aside money for Christmas gifts. And I've already set a budget for myself of, let me see, and I'll show you guys this sheet. And this sheet I actually made myself. I literally just printed out like the outline of a Christmas tree. I took rulers and divided it off. So every time I put money aside, I fill it in, and it's just a nice visual. So the goal this year is 1,040. So that means that every time I get paid, I have to put aside $40. And this 827 goes up here. So $40 for Christmas gifts. And then I also am planning a Disney trip this year, and we've actually went ahead and already booked it. The goal for just me alone is $2,500. So every time I've put aside cash, I fill it in. And these two, I've already booked the room and stuff, so I did have to pay an online deposit up front. So I just kind of wrote on there that it was an online payment. So this $250 I do not physically have in my little envelope because it's already been paid out towards Disney. But same thing with that sheet. I kind of just looked for an outline and made it work for me for what I was saving as a visual. So then I have Disney, and I did the math, and for that, in order for me to save up what I need to save up for that Disney trip by a certain date, I do have to put aside $125 every pay period. And so other than that, that's pretty much all of what I'd like to save for. All my envelopes, the cash I need for my envelopes, all my bills are paid. So 40 plus 125, that's 165. And then once again, we're going to go ahead and total out what is left of my paycheck. So let's see, 827 minus 165, and that is 662. So I have $662 still left over. Now, this, if I had extra debt, so if I had another credit card, once your priorities are taken care of and the stuff that needs to get paid, I could say make a payment to my student loan, Nelnet. Write that down here. We'll carry over the 662 and then put however much you're paying towards it. However, I have not started paying extra yet. That's what I'm going to start looking at pretty soon. So with this $662, I actually end up putting that back here and put that into my savings account. So that basically my entire check is accounted for. So we're going to look and make sure that everything adds up, that we've got our checks and balances. So income, we said we were going to put $2,000 because, like I said, I just personally don't feel comfortable sharing what I make monthly. And then we've got the 1. So the 1 is up here from the bill total. It was $943. And then the 2 is my envelope total, which was $230. And then 3 was $165. And we don't have a 4. The 4 was down here for extra debt. So we're just going to ignore that. So 2,000 minus, and we've got 943 plus 230 plus 165. Oh, did I add something wrong? Let me do that again. 243 plus 230 plus 165. Okay, so I forgot the 660, the 662 over here. So plus 662. Okay, that did total out to $2,000. So you're saying, okay, wow, you have no money left in your bank account. Well, personally, the way I budget, I have my checkings account and I have a savings account. With my checking account, I have what I call an account cushion. So there's a set amount of money in my checkings account at all time. It's not a lot. I'll be honest, it's about 1,500, so 1,500. But then I have my savings account. And every single time, anything else that is left over goes into my savings account. And you know, if something comes up or if I want to take a vacation, yeah, I've got the money saved up. But that's just how I like to do it. I like to allot a category for my entire check. So that's just how I do it. The Budget Mom does talk about it in her video as well. And I believe she does the same thing as well. Also, I talked about in my previous video about going on vacation. I mean, Disney was one of the ones that I touched base on, but also taking a few more trips. I talked about it in my dream board video, and I haven't incorporated that yet because we're still not sure on dates. And, you know, as I go on, I will update this as well. But so I'm going to show you guys the next step now. Alrighty, so this is my next sheet, and it has 2 paychecks on there. And then it's got these little slips here, and I will explain that in a moment. So once again, this is for February. You really don't have to put this on there, but anyways. So if you guys remember, we had our envelope system right here. So now I'm just going to move all of those over onto this sheet. So we had groceries. We had gas, we had household, we had fun, and then we had Christmas and Disney. And I do pull those were a part of my savings plan, but I do pull those out in cash because I'm a cash spender. And unfortunately, I don't have enough rows. I have to create a new sheet because before I wasn't doing a sinking fund, which is basically what that Christmas and Disney is. It's a sinking fund, and you're constantly depositing so that you have funds. So I'm going to just combine them, Christmas and Disney for now, because it's fine. And so Christmas was $40, Disney was $125, that's $165. So here we have the amount, and it's the same amount we wrote in the other column. So I said $100 for groceries, $50 for gas, $20 for household, and $60 for fun. So now I've got a cash breakdown, because a lot of times what I find with people who try and do cash is, okay, I'm just going to pull out a $100 bill. I'm going to pull out a $50 bill. I'm going to pull out a 20. I'll pull out 3 20s or a 50 and a 10. And it just kind of complicates things, in my opinion. It's a lot easier to pull out smaller bills so that you have proper denominations, especially so like if you're doing fun or entertainment. When you go out with friends and sometimes you split the tab, it's so much easier to have exact change because it's less hassle. So for groceries, I just do 2 $50 bills because one for each week. For gas, I do 2 20s and 2 5s because that's $50. For household, I just do a $20 bill. For fun, I usually do 1 20, and then I do 2 10s, so that's 40. I do 2 5s, that's 50, and I do 10 singles, $60. For Christmas and Disney, let's see, I can do a $100 bill. It's $100 and now I have 65. So let's see, we'll do 320s and that's 160 and then the 5 for Disney. So let's see, 100, 160, 165. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to cross-check that all this is correct, go ahead and re-add everything up. And I'm going to, because the worst thing is making a mistake and having your numbers off. So 100 plus 50 plus 20 plus 60 plus 165, and we've got $395. So now this is your bill count. How many of each bill do you need? All right, I just have 10 singles. I've got 5 $5 bills. I've got 2 $10 bills. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 $20 bills, 2 $50 bills, and 1 $100 bill. So now you're going to put the value. So 10 singles is $10, $5, or 5 $5 bills is 25, 2 $10 bills is 20, 7 $20 bills is 140, and then that's 100, and 1 $100 bill is 100. So once again, I'm going to cross-check because it's happened and I've made the mistake. And actually, I shouldn't even be using a pen. I should probably use a pencil, but that's all right. So we'll start going from right to left. 100 plus 100 plus 140 plus 20 plus 25 plus 10 and $395. So that goes ahead and balances out. So I'm going to just slide this over so you guys can see what I'm doing. So now, once again, I'm going to just bring those numbers back over here. So let me move this so you can see what I'm doing. So for singles, we said we need 10 singles. I usually write how many I need here, and then I put the value. So $10. I should probably also remake this one, but it's fine. And then we've got 5 $5 bills, and that's 25. I've got 2 $10 bills, 20. And then I've got 7 $20 bills. It's, like I said, 140. 2 $50 bills, 100, and 1 $100 bill. And then the total value, which we said was $395. So just so you guys can see a little better, I just wrote out basically these over here. And since like I said, the Budget Mom came out with her own little workbook. She also has products, so I think she has like a notepad with stickies, so that's super easy. If you guys want to just purchase those, you can. So I don't have my scissors on hand, but basically what I do is I cut around here and I bring this with me to the bank. So when I go to the bank and pull out my cash from my cash envelopes, I just hand this to the teller and it's super easy for me to get the exact bills that I need. All right, hopefully you guys are still with me. So we've made it past, this is January, I just pulled up a random sheet. We've made it past the overview and how that works. And we've also went over our paycheck bill tracker. So where all our money is going for that paycheck. And then we went ahead and filled out the cash envelope sheet so that you're able to know, how much cash you have to pull out. I told you cut this little piece out and take that with you to the bank teller. So we went to the bank. We've got our cash. The next part, and I feel like this is always like the funnest part, is going ahead and doing your envelopes. So as I mentioned, I have I don't know if it'll show. I have a guess, I have a fun, I've got a groceries, and I've got a household, and I haven't printed out a nice envelope, so I kind of just made one. You guys can honestly just make your own envelopes. You don't have to print them out. When I first started doing this in March, I kind of just decorated my own. And then these have to get replaced soon anyways because they get a little worn out after a while. So also what's really nice about the Budgeting Moms envelopes, and real quick, she also does have some on her website that you can purchase, but I mean, we are budgeting, okay? We don't got money to buy envelopes, so we wait for the free printable ones. Anyways, so you can actually write the category also on the back, and then there's a spot for you to write how much is in your envelope, and then the day you make a purchase, you can write it there, the description, and then it's a plus or minus sign here. And I'll zoom in on this so you can see it, and then just how much is left in your envelope. I personally don't do that because I do reuse these, but just FYI. So for groceries, referring back to this sheet here, we had said we were going to put aside $100 for groceries. And here's my cash, and here's my little slip that I had filled out. So yeah, I usually cut it out, and I just hand that to my teller. So we said 250s, and that's exactly what's going into the grocery envelope. Next, we've got gas. So we said we'd grab 2 20s and 2 5s, one for each week. So you guessed it, that's going in my envelope. And then for fun, we have a 10 singles, 2 $5 bills, 2 $10 bills, and a 20. And I actually went out the other day and used I used some of my money. So I used a $5 bill and a $1 bill to tip because I did a wine tasting, but whatever. That's besides the point. So I'm not going to have the exact amount going into this envelope because I already used some of the money. But we said one $10 bill, one $20 bill, 2 10s. So that's 40. I said I already used one of my $5 bills. So there's the 5. We already used the other 5. And then I had 10 singles, but I already used one of them. So I should have still $9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So I had 60, but I already used up $6. So there's 54 in here. And then, what else do I have? My household is $20. So here's $20. And then, like I told you guys, for the Disney trip, I had to make a payment towards my Disney trip. So for that, I did use like my checking account cushion. Because I hadn't had the money on me, I had to make a payment to secure my reservation. So in order to replenish and account for that amount, hopefully this makes sense, I put down $125 so that $125 goes back into my checking account for that account cushion. So I didn't withdraw it, but I still accounted for $125 from this paycheck because I had already used it ahead of time. So I didn't actually pull out $125 for Disney this time because I had kind of already paid for that portion. Hopefully that makes sense. So here I've got my little homemade envelope for Christmas money. And as you can see, there's already some money in here because I've been putting money into it. But here's the last of the money I pulled out. Here's $40 because that's how much I put in every pay period. And I just went ahead and put that in my envelope. And then I reused like my my old Chase envelope and put, here's my Disney money, but we're not putting anything into that one this week. So another sheet that I can introduce you that I personally don't use, but for you guys, if you guys do want to try out my budgeting method, I highly recommend, first of all, tracking your expenses. Before you can even plan how you plan to use your money, you need to know what are your expenses looking at like. You need to, be able to be realistic with what you're going to be able to do and whatnot. So I have a sheet, and this is an expense tracker, and you put out your starting balance. There's date, your account. So for account, it's usually like if you use your debit card all the time, just put, like checking account. And then if you use cash, I usually just write in cash there. That's all I refer to as far as account. Transaction. What did you do? Did you go to Panda Express? Did you go to Home Depot? Did you pay a bill? So did you make a payment to Comcast? And then we have category. So this is important so that you can get an ideal picture of where your money is going. Category. So like I said, you went to Panda Express. Food. So that's eating out. You went to Home Depot, so maybe that's like maintenance. I don't know what your categories are, but as I've shown you guys, my categories are groceries, gas, fun, and household. And then the bills, I don't really have a cash category for that because I pay those through my online banking. But you want to see exactly where all your money is going, and then if you take money out, deposit in your ending balance. And I do want you guys to go check out the Budget Mom's video because she's very, very detailed in how she explained this. And I know my video is probably 40 minutes long. I'm going to guess it's like 40 minutes. Who knows? But I know it's a longer video, but I do really appreciate you guys watching this. And I hope that it is able to help some of you guys out. Because being in control of your money and finally being out of debt is a very like freeing feeling. It's just, when I was in credit card debt before, I would honestly always kind of feel like angry, like all my paycheck is going to paying off these credit cards. Although I was the one who did spend the money, it just sucked that most of my money was gone and I couldn't really enjoy it because I had spent irresponsibly in the past. But as I was saying, do check out her video because as far as the expense tracker, she does it really nice. So what you would do is once you've tallied up your expenses and you're like, oh my God, this is how much I spend on food every month, or this is how much I do on this, then you can kind of see, and start to say, okay, maybe I can cut back on eating out. Like, whoa, I spent $400 last month eating out. I spent whatever, you can just kind of see where your money goes. And what she usually does is she will color code each category. So if you ate out 6 times, go ahead and highlight anything in that category. For food, say it was orange, you'll highlight that. And then if you, I don't know, got your nails done, got your hair done, like if you want to categorize into beauty, go ahead and highlight that out. And then I want you to take that stuff, the totals from each category, and add that up so that you can see how much you spent in the month, or if you want to do it by paycheck, just see how much you've spent on each category so that you can, like I say, see the overview. That way, if you spend $400 on food, whether that be groceries and eating out, now go ahead and say, okay, this is a problem. How about I go with $300 next month? Start making small changes and just honestly, based on how much you make it work, but also save money. Don't just not save anything. Another few sinking funds, I'm gonna put stuff down in the description box so that you guys have a better idea maybe on different categories you may need. I haven't started an emergency fund, but luckily, like I said, anything else that's left over from my check, it goes into my savings account. But I'm going to be starting a sinking fund for an emergency fund, just in case anything goes wrong, especially now being a homeowner. If something out the blue happens and I've got to make a repair, or I need a new AC, HVAC system, stuff like that. Like, I don't want to have to stress about it, you know? So I do think it's important to have an emergency fund. Also, another good category would be like car maintenance, you know, like just so you'll be more at ease when those expenses come up and it's not that stressful, or you don't have to go ahead and hand over that plastic card for a $7,000 expense that you didn't expect. And now you're stuck being back in debt, having to pay interest on that $7,000 that you paid because you didn't plan financially ahead of time. So I really hope this video is not all over the place. If you guys have been with me for a while, you know that my mind jumps around. I'll start seeing something and then another idea comes to mind, and hopefully I don't lose track anywhere. But if that made sense, I do hope it's helpful for you guys. Like I said, definitely check out the Budget Moms page and the video about this system. I'll be linking those down below. I hope you guys start to budget and that it works out for you. And if you guys have any questions, let me know down below. But this is my method. Well, it's not my method. I'm not going to take credit for it. This is the method that works for me. And like I said, I've paid off about $10,000 in credit card debt. And so far, $7,700 towards student debt. So that is approximately $18,000 of debt that I've paid off since March of 2019. And I'm pretty damn proud because aside from that, I was also able to save money for a down payment to buy this condo with my boyfriend. And I've started saving money in other areas. My savings account has never been as big as what it is now. And it feels really good to be in control of my money. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do hope that it helps someone out. And I really hope you guys try to find a budgeting method that works for you. Because like I said, it's just a very smart plan to know how to manage your money and where it goes. And budgeting is just something we don't learn in high school or college or anywhere for that matter. But yeah, definitely share this video because I do think it would be helpful to someone out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. As I mentioned, if you guys have any questions, leave those down below and I will do my best to help you guys. And also, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.